All right, so we're actually fixing the headlights in the truck, in the black Dodge. And I say that not because I've already done it, but because I've already done it. I had to cheat a little bit. So I work 40 minutes from my house. I get off at 5, so I don't get home till 5:40. So sorry about that. So I had to just kind of get home and do it. I didn't really have time to, get my tripod out, set my camera up, and my battery was low because I was at work all day. So I just came home and did it. And I'm going to show you kind of what our finished product looks like, and then I'm going to show you, because I only did it to the driver's side because I needed one headlight to at least stay on. So I'm going to show you real quick what it looks like in the end result, and then we're going to do that to the passenger side together. So say hi. So I guess stay tuned, and we're going to fix the Dodge Dakota headlights and make them not go out anymore the proper, safe way. Okay, so if you look here, where's my trigger wires? I put in 2 relays, and so now this headlight gets powered directly off the battery. So the power comes in on these red wires, and I don't remember the numbers of the pins, but I mean, it's a universal automotive relay. I mean, you can look it up. So power for the headlights comes in from the battery through 2 5-amp fuses, or maybe these are 10s. They might be 10s. I'll have to look. I'll show you in a little bit. Through this little situation I made, it's got a Dodge connector. Comes up through here, loops up, and then it comes right through here. Another Dodge connector. I just needed the length. That's why I added that long length of wire there. Comes in here. This wire came on this connector, and then this connector plugs into the relay, and I bought a kit off of Amazon. I will try to find the link and post it, but it's like 5 of these plugs with the cord, with the wires. It's got 5 relays, and then it's got 5 brackets that you can like screw to a surface, and then these, if you see right there in the little groove, it like clicks in and you can mount it somewhere. I just mounted it with a zip tie. I'm trying to, keep the contact from happening. It's actually doing pretty good. I've been keeping an eye on it. I've had this done for a couple days, but I'm keeping an eye for like witness marks and stuff on the wiring, because I don't want to wear through it and short something out, catch the truck on fire. So if that becomes a problem, I will address it. I have a bunch of this convoluted tubing in a bunch of different sizes, so I can make something happen. So the middle post, there we go, it's a good view. If you look, come on, focus. There we go. It's getting better. Okay. The black wire and the red wire down there, way down there, on the headlight plug, they were where the power was coming in, best I could tell. It would come from the switch down here to the headlight, and then it would ground through the purple wire. I'm like 99% sure how that's went. I'm like 99% sure that's how that went. So now I cut that purple wire really long. I stripped the rubber off of it all the way down to the harness, like the main part of the harness. I don't know if we can see it from here. Somewhere down there. I'll get the battery out in a little bit and show you. But you can see it's up here now. It's grounded straight to the core support. And now those black and red wires, they go to the output side of these relays where the input side from the battery comes through. And then the truck side of the black and red wires down here, they are the trigger that turns the relays on, and they are grounded here, these two wires, to the chassis. So now, instead of power going battery, fuse block, through the firewall, through the switches on the dash and the multifunction switch on the steering wheel, back out to the headlights, it tells which one, high beam or low beam, and then to ground. Now, switch power goes from the battery, through the fuse block, through the firewall, into the switches, and all the current that it's carrying is switch power for a relay rather than current to run a headlight. And it comes back down here. It comes in. I'd have to cut that zip tie and show you. I might can do that here in a little bit. I'm gonna have to redo some of this anyway. It comes in, it turns the relay on, and then when it turns the relay on, it connects the power that comes straight from the battery straight to the headlight. And then the headlight comes on. So we're gonna do that to that side now. And I'm also gonna add, I've got some heat shrink connectors in here that I don't really like. So we're gonna cut those out and put a 4-pin Deutsch connector on this side and the other side. So let's do the other side first. And we're gonna try to do that kind of all in one go. Oh, and there's a Samurai. If you're wondering about the Samurai, I don't remember if I showed in a video, but I got the Micro Squirt V3 in, I got new battery cables in, order those from Summit Racing. Everything's right, everything's here. I have the laptop for tuning. I learned quickly that I needed to get a GM map sensor because this is a map sensor vehicle, and that I needed to get LS coil packs the way I have it on the diagram that I made. And that's going to allow for all kinds of tuning that I'll be able to do rather than running this thing off of a distributor like it is from the factory. So it will no longer use the distributor for spark. There's a good chance I won't even use the distributor for the cam position sensor. But we're gonna find out for sure. That's my next hurdle, is I gotta figure out how to trigger the Micro Squirt V3 to get the timing correct on this thing. So I'm either going to, I know it's got a crank position sensor in the distributor, so I might use that. I cannot get a for sure on whether it has a crank position sensor. That would be great. If it does, I'll use that. And if it doesn't, I'm gonna have to adapt one of the DIY auto tune trigger wheel, missing tooth trigger wheels to the crank pulley on this thing, and then order a Hall effect sensor to wire up to the Micro Squirt V3. Not difficult things to do. The trigger wheels like 35, 40 bucks, and then the Hall effect sensor is like $100. So it's not that bad. I hope I can trigger it off something that already exists, just so I don't have to wait on shipping for anything else, because I'm kind of tired. I'm kind of tired of waiting for shipping. My map sensor and my coil packs should be here Monday. And I'm looking at having weekends off coming up soon, so this thing should get kicked off in the not too distant future, so stay tuned. But right now, we're gonna get in here and cut this wiring apart and get this thing working with functional, reliable, safe headlights. So let me get you set up. I'll drag some tools out and we'll get going. All right. Two things. I have disconnected the battery. Be safe. Don't hurt yourself. Don't burn your truck down. And the other thing, I just had it on the tip of my tongue and I forgot it. Oh, the fuses I was telling you, I don't know if they were 5 amp or 10 amp. They are 10 amp fuses. I Googled it beforehand, and it was like 5s are probably good, 10s are probably a little better. Anything more than that, you risk, shorting something out, or, burning your truck down or whatever. And I'm like, let's do 10s. If I blow a 10, I can diagnose it. I've put my hands on all this work, so I know exactly where all these wires are, what they do. So 10 amp fuse, it's been working for, I don't know, most of a week now. So that's what we're gonna go with. Without further ado, let's get this going. If you have a first gen Dodge Dakota, recognize that headlight socket situation. I have the arrow front end, so little collar twists off, and then it's a little hard to get along with, but you push it through this direction and you can pry these tabs back and separate the plug from the bulb, because I want access to the plug. Come on now, don't break, just pop out of there. There it is. Set your collar back for later. When you're putting this back together, it goes on like this with the ridges towards the back of the truck. We were messing with these a few weeks ago, and my buddy was trying to put it on. He was trying to put it on like this, and it just straight up wouldn't go. It was weird. And then finally, looked to the other side, and it was like this. He was like, "Oh, okay, that makes sense." So, ridges to the back of the truck. Set that over there for safekeeping. Set that over there for safekeeping. Alright. Sorry, it's a really windy day. I didn't really have another day to do this, so it's flipping the phone around. Probably blocking some of the sound out. Bear with me, please. But if you see this black jacketing right here, this has to come off. So basically all I'm doing here is just trying to figure out where the best place is to cut these wires, because I have to cut the ground wire coming from the headlight plug a little long, and then cut the power wires short. All right, we made our first cut. I hope that's long enough. It's hard to get down in there, but I'll make it work. It'll be fine. It'll still be completely safe. All right. Next thing we need to do, we're gonna cut this somewhere like here. I'm going to cut them flush together though, because these will be hooked into a Dodge connector. Okay, now we have destroyed a perfectly working truck. So let me run and grab some, actually I got these right here. We'll go ahead and strip them. So we're just going to put a standard little 1/4-inch eyelet on this purple one to make a ground. And then I didn't bring a lighter outside. I might have to go inside and shrink wrap this because it's too windy to really operate a lighter. But we can go ahead and crimp it right now. Figured my life out. We got crimped. Give the tug test. Oh yeah, that ain't going nowhere. No play, nothing. And I'll shrink wrap. I might do that. I'll probably film that inside, but we'll do that inside. So let me go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and get a Dodge connector to stick on here, and this little piece will be done. All right. I hope this thing focuses. I might be nearing my my phone's memory capacity, so I'm having to kind of keep an eye on it. All right, so the accessory side gets the male Dodge plug, which means it's going to get the female pins. What you're looking for is get them in there. This one on the top here is correct. The bottom was not in yet. You gotta kind of give it a little persuasion, minor persuasion back and forth. Looking at the one on the top now. There it goes. And you stick your retainer. I grabbed the wrong retainer again. I keep doing that. The small green retainers go in the big female Dodge connectors. The small male connector gets the big keeper. And you see there's a gap on the right side, so you just slide that in there. You'll hear it click. There it went. All right, this is assembled. So these will be my power coming off of the battery straight to the filament, each filament in the bulb. The black wire runs the bright lights, the red /orange wire runs the dims. My purple is my ground. So we're gonna set this aside and keep working on this. You know what I've done? I used that 2-pin Dodge connector in the wrong spot. So I'm gonna have to disassemble it because it's supposed to be used for something else. I have to look. I'm referencing this side. Okay, yeah. The 2 pins are the ones that hook from power to the relay, but I'm using a 4-pin down low. So yeah, I gotta disassemble that real quick. They make a tool for this and I don't have it. So we're gonna just pry on it. until something happens. Maybe. What I might have to do is stop recording, Google it, and then start recording again. So I'm gonna mess with it for a minute though. Oh, no, there it goes. You just get in there. There's a tiny little divot in the orange plastic right there. You can kind of get under there and just twist, and it comes right out. All right, so let's unpin this. We're gonna set this connector aside. These pins will also work in the 4-pin connector. So we'll go ahead and get it out real quick. If you're wondering, and there are better videos than this to show you how these work. These 2 recesses are where those pins were just laying. Down in here, there's 2 tabs looking right at you. So you want to stick your prying tool in and bend those tabs away from your pins, and that releases them. So while you're doing that, you're also kind of rolling your fingers and pulling a little bit of tension on those wires, and they'll come right out. And we're going to take this little rubber grommet off and stick it back in this plug for later. Alright, so since the other side is just solder connectors and there's no Deutsch plug, I'm kind of setting the precedent over here with this plug. So we're just going to pick 2. We made sure this is the male side. So we're going to put the male side here. We're just going to pick 2 of these pins. And then when we cut that out over there and redo it, we're going to use the same 2 pin numbers on the other 4-pin plug for the driver side. So let's get these stabbed in here real quick. When we do that, we're not going to put the keeper in just yet because we still have 2 more pins to put in. So let's just stick these on 1 and 2. Seems like a good call, right? I'm licking them as I put them in. I don't know if that's necessary, but I found it to be a tiny bit easier. Same thing, you're just gonna push them, click, until you'll hear a teeny tiny click, and the end of the pin will be flush right there with the gray plastic. If you listen real close, it might be blurry, I can't really see the screen, but if you listen real close. So that's what you're looking for. So we'll go ahead, kind of copy that over here, and then we'll go ahead and put all this together. Step 1, cut it out. Step 2, reassemble it. I told you that pack came with 5 of these and 5 relays. It actually comes with 6 of these and 6 relays. Link is in the description. These are super handy. And they're 5-pin relays, and the yellow wire accommodates for that 5th pin. We're not going to use the yellow wire, but if you go on to Wiring Rescue's YouTube channel, he explains in great detail, very easy to understand what that 5th pin will do. It's really cool. But I'm going to cut these yellows out right now. The headlight plug has the red and black wires here. The other half of them is still down here. So they're going to come from the truck and come in on the white wires. That's your switch power to turn the relay on. And then black grounds that. So black will go to ground. And then your power comes in on your red from your battery and goes out on your blue to the light. So if I run the red wire into the white here, I need to run this blue wire to the red wire on this plug. Is that clear as mud? Hope so. I'm gonna run the other red and the black wire on the same side of the plug so that this is looking up at me. And then I'm gonna put my relays where they plug in to the top side with the female Deutsch connector. Click, like that. So that's what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna put female pins on those wires down there. We'll go ahead and get that truck connector, or the headlight connector itself with the Dodge connector plugged into these. We'll get the retainer put in, and then we'll do the relays. So the way these are numbered, where I have this red and orange wire is 1, the black one is at 2, the one straight across from the black one is 3, and this top left one straight across from the red and orange one is 4. So we're gonna put the red and orange coming from the truck on 4. We're gonna put the black on 3. And this is the correct retainer to use. I'm probably going to be all up in the way, and you won't be able to see what I'm doing until I'm done. So I apologize for that. I tried to explain it as best I can. I'll try to get a close-up about halfway through so we can kind of check up on progress. All right, let's get a close-up of that. All right. See if I can get out of my own way here. So I got power from the switches on the dash coming in here. They'll go up into the relays, do their thing, and then power from the battery will go down these 2 wires. And then this will ground the headlight. All right, let's keep on trucking. Okay, what I'm doing is I'm gonna pull off, I've already pulled off the jacketing for the white wires. I'm gonna pull it off the blue wires as well. And go ahead and run, actually I'm probably gonna do it for my red wires as well. And go ahead and put all my pins, all my Dodge pins on. But I'm just cutting this exposed wire to the correct length right now. So that's all we're doing. I'm doing it not here because I don't want these little shards falling down in the engine bay, so just give me a minute. Okay. We're gonna go ahead and pin these. I'm also gonna put the eyelets on the black ground wires. So let's do that real quick. If you're following along and you're doing this on your truck, just follow the exact steps I'm about to take. And I guarantee something will happen. I cannot say whether or not your truck will burn down. Chances are it will not. But I'm not liable if it does. I'm only liable for my truck burning down. Alright, we're gonna go look at the driver's side and see what pins the red wires need now. I couldn't find anything definitive on whether or not you're supposed to have the female side, the female pin side, or the male pin side on the power side or the accessory side. So I'm just kind of going with it. I'm just kind of trying to copy side to side what I'm doing so that it's all uniform. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and put a 2-pin Deutsch connector on these 2 red wires, and then we're gonna put the 4-pin female Deutsch connector on the white and the blue wires. Red wires first. And it doesn't matter. The red wires, they actually don't matter which side you do, because all it is just power from the battery. Doesn't matter which light it's going to, they both get the same amount of power. Click goes on those, done. All right, now I'm gonna have to do a little looking to see which one of these, because it's gonna be one relay for brights, one relay for dim. So I have to make sure that when I hook this thing up, it's not where I turn the headlights on, this side's dim, that side's bright. I hit the switch, this side's bright, that side's dim. So I have to make sure that everything's in the order that it's supposed to be in. So give me a minute. Okay, well, I'm glad I found that out. I was tugging on this one here, the naked one, and it was loose a little bit, and I'm like, man, that ain't gonna work. And then I pulled it, and it took a whole strand out with it, like 5 inches of it. So that's trash. So let me get another male pin and fix this. And we're back. All right, we were debating on where in this plug these 2 wires go. They're gonna go straight across from each other. Power comes from the switch. It's a 4. Do that backwards. Nope, I did it right. It's a 4. And then like that. And then like that. That's to that relay, that's to that relay. Okay. There. That wasn't hard. Now the green keepers are the ones that go down in the female Deutsch connectors. And they're not easy to put in. So I'll have to show you when I do that 2-pin one. The 2-pin one, you can grab it like this, stick it down in there, but it's not wide enough. But I just realized you can stick the needle nose inside this hole, spread that out, and drop it right in there. It's not what I meant to do. Do it. Do it. There it goes. Click. Went right in. Alright, so now this plug can only click onto this plug one way. Now all we gotta do is make our power that goes from the battery to the to this area. So I'm gonna move you guys and show you how I do that. All my extra wires inside. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a measurement, because I'm gonna run this harness up and across and then back down that fender to the same area that I have those fuse cords in. So I'm just gonna take rough measurements and I can cut it down from here. So we're gonna go 32. Going across, are we? So 32, 58. Okay, well, you got the gist. I'm gonna use my phone to record this information for myself. Alrighty then. We're gonna put the little hinge on the uphill side towards the battery. These are gonna require some modifying. I need to go make sure which plug to put here. So, be right back. Okay. The female plug goes on these dudes, which means the male pins are the pins we need. You're probably thinking to yourself, oh my God, what are you doing? I'm making do with what I have, right? I can't just hop on the truck and drive down the Summit. None of my local auto parts stores have this. I don't have a Pet Boys or a Midas. Come to think of it, I don't know that I've ever seen a Pet Boys or a Midas like in person before, like just like up close. I've only heard rumors that they exist. But the problem is I'm using wires that are way too fat for these plugs. But again, I don't have a Dodge store, an automotive wiring store, a Summit Racing, a Jet. The closest Summit Racing to me is probably 6 hours away. So I'm just having to deal with it. These plugs here, I had to order these because I'd used up 2 on the truck. You can buy them from DodgeConnectorStore.com, and they're like for both the male and female plugs, the retainers, and the solid male and female pins for both connectors. It's like $3.50 for all that. I bought 2 of them because I had to have 2. The problem is the shipping was like $15 freaking dollars. And that was the cheapest shipping that they had. That was like USPS 4-day shipping. that should be the hardest part of this whole thing. This is just going to get those eyelets, but I don't have them because I ran out of them on this end. So that's my cat. Here. For power from the passenger side, we're going to use brown because I ran out of red. Brown still represents hot, right? We need 125 inches of it times 2. I don't have, that's a 60 something inch. Let me grab a bigger tape measure. I'm going to lay this out on the floor and cut it real quick. And we're back. Almost lost my cool there.
Ah! Almost lost my cool there.
And so this one, we're just putting a male on one end and a female on the other, so it doesn't matter which end to start with, because each end is getting one. So I can just speed through this. I'm running out of time because I've got D&D tonight at 5. It's currently 3:30. I told the guys I would make Brazilian limeade. If you don't know what that is, look up Jordan D. Stallion on TikTok and he'll tell you. Now, set that down. I'm gonna go cut. For continuity's sake, I'm gonna use the one that I used on the other side. I'm gonna go cut 125 inches of this, or sorry, 112 inches of this. So that it's safe under the hood. All this wiring stuff that I have is for the Samurai, so I'm gonna have to order all this stuff again for the Samurai. Because I'm a Dodge product. And in the 90s, wiring was not their forte. Okay, well, at some point my iPhone memory filled up and it quit recording. So what I've done is I went ahead and made this harness that goes all the way around the engine bay of the truck. I'm pretty much wrapped up. I've done all I can do. I'm gonna go find a lighter and do the little heat shrink thing on these two and the one that's on the truck still. That's really all I've got left to do, so let me go find a lighter and we'll do that real quick. And then that'll be pretty much all I've got for today. I might try to shoot a little bit more once we get over there because it'll still be daylight. So let me run and do this. I'll show you heat shrinking one of them real quick. And then we will probably meet back up later today or tomorrow. So I've got this harness already kind of laying in here, and I'm like, how do I have a 2-pin here and a 4-pin there? How's that gonna work? I forgot I had left this inside. I went ahead and shrunk these without you seeing it. I'm gonna try to shrink that one and show you, but I mean, it's self-explanatory. You put heat on it, you don't melt the wire, the thing shrinks up. You can visually see it seal. But I'm gonna plug this thing up and stab these relays in here. Nothing's gonna be grounded, but nothing's gonna be hooked to battery power either, because I don't have enough of these. So that's gonna have to be a later on in the day thing. So bear with me. None of that's hooked up. I can't show you, but I'm going to try to keep straight this last brown real quick. Got that done. Grab all my tools, back up. I gotta clean up inside. Hook the battery up, and then I'll roll, and we'll meet back up here shortly. All right, guys, made it to D&D. Buddy of mine had a torch in his camper, so he lent me that. I found 2 more. I had brought 2 of these out before I started filming earlier today, and laid them on the dash next to the fuses. Well, they are the fuses for these fuse holders. And then I buried them with stuff and couldn't find them, so that's where those went. So I have all the connectors, so I'm fixing to finish wrapping these up, and then go figure the grounds out, and then hook power to it. So I'm not really able to set this up and show you, but I'll show you what I've done when I've done it. Okay, I got my spider of positives going to where they need to go. I got it routed around there, all the way through here. Got the relays in, everything's hooked up. Had to run to Home Depot and get a bolt for the ground. And I just tried them, and the brights work. When I turn them on dim, they go off. So that is something I will have to look at a later date, because I don't care enough to fix it, and I want to go play D&D. So, that being said, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.